One moment to find where I'm at here. And make sure that I'm good on YouTube. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Samuel Lombardo, the Executive Director, CEO, Agent, Concierge of SL Models and Talent Agency, LLC. We have a lot to talk about today, so right now I'm trying to move around my laptop because I'm seeing that it's already freezing before I even start. I hope that everyone is having a wonderful weekend. Happy Sabbath to those of my Sabbath friends. Good Saturday to those who are watching. And happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there. I know it's been a pretty big battle during the pandemic and so on, but we are moving past that. And well, I have a lot of data and evidence on what is to come and why being in the arts is actually very important now than ever while you have the chance, believe it or not. So this is more of an encouragement, if anything, but I want to start first. If you had not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel at SL Models and Talent Agency LLC. It's that gold icon with the red ring around it, and hit the notifications bell so that if you like any of the content that I will be bringing forward to you, which is going to be slightly different, that you will see us live on YouTube. So yes, indeed, please do that. If you want to support the community, the SLMTA community, please follow us and support us for just $5 a month starting out at patreon.com/SLMTA. And that money does go toward the investment of our Community Stars programs. Indeed, indeed. Okay, I am going to move out of here and get ready to share my screen. Whoops, over here, because we have a lot to talk about today. And this is going to be more of financial news. First of all, I want to clear some things up with some of those YouTubers out there that are doing a little bit of clickbait, but not much. Some of them are just kind of slipping it in. The SVOG grant is for shutter venues that are arts administration related, okay? The only thing that may sound like it's not for arts, but it still actually is talent representatives and promoters. But what that means is that you'd have to show for proof that you are actually a promoter for a company or that you are the promoter. You would have to sign up for a Duns and Bradstreet number and then use that number to set yourself up for a cage ID under sam.gov. And then you could fill out the application, the portal for the SVOG, for which they will have everything that they need at that point, and then they would be able to determine what your grant is going to be, if any at all, depending on the documents you share, because it's real time. They actually have it set up very, very sophisticated but specific. So it does actually help out. You would actually almost know by the time you're done with the application about what you are approved for, but you have to go through all of the steps to be able to do it. And yes, they are funding these. It is taking time. The other thing that I want to bring to your attention, since I'm bringing up financial news during our prime time moment, is that that idle advance is no longer there. It is targeted idle advance, and targeted means that you have to have suffered 30% losses between any quarter of 2019 and 2020, and that you'd have to have both tax returns to prove that as well. Okay, along with that, that 5,000 supplemental grant, that is going to be approved on the basis of if you share a 50% loss, okay, and that 50% loss, they would already determine that, and it would go to 1 million businesses because that's all they got funded for. It was a $5 billion project. It's a $5,000 grant, and most resources that I have spoken with said that it is an automatic thing in the application process. So if you showed that you actually had 10 employees or less and suffered 50% during your 30% loss integral, then you will actually be able to get the supplemental grant. It is not something where they're opening a portal up for. So keep that in mind. It is not an open portal. They will not open the portal up for that. Now, unless things change with these other two stimulus packages that are coming up, then businesses can then apply for the full $10,000 grant under the normal terms. But until then, it's a very, very slow process. They didn't even get $1 billion out the door yet. They're lucky if they hit 100,000 by now that got approved. So just hang on in there if you can. For those that have questions about that. Okay, and then the restaurant thing, you do not need a Duns and Bradstreet number, nor do you have to sign up for sam.gov, but you will have to have the other paperwork necessary to be able to get that restaurant revitalization grant. Okay, now that we have gotten all of that out of the way, and if you have any specific questions about how to sign up, like if this fits you for real, then good. You can definitely share those, share your concerns and do all of that. But now for talent representatives, I almost forgot. Talent representatives, you're going to have to actually show that you have contracts with artists and or models. And then you're going to have to show on top of that, if you want them to fund anything else besides, as long as you're not breaking the $2 million cap for your particular business, you would have to show them if you have actually hired artists to come in to do a production and have lost all of that money. But if you have contracts that show like, well, you're paying $1,200 or you're paying me $16,000, and no matter if it got canceled or not, you'd have to pay them. That's not a loss. So that's not going to be added to your venue grant. And they're going to want to see those receipts proving that you actually have not gotten paid on them. So do not try to lie and say, oh, well, I didn't receive this, or this show was canceled, that show was canceled. And then all of a sudden, it's like you're given all these contracts of like, well, if you sign a contract with us, you're still liable to pay, because that technically means you have not gotten a loss. That means that you are still forcing a company to still pay your artists, despite the fact that it would have been a loss to you. So you're going to have to figure out if you want the government to pay up to $2 million for your losses, or if you're going to want the business to actually pay that when they basically may not have the money either. Okay. So that's where we're at. That's probably the only tricky part of the whole entire fiasco with SVOG, because I have asked about that. They will look at the regular, like your tax statements and all that, and they will come up with 45% on that because it's based off of your loss, your revenue that came in on line 7 versus what had came out before, and 45% of that. But if you actually had lost money, where like SLMTA, we've actually lost again because vendors and different types of things going on in Michigan where they don't want big groups of people. So our masquerade ball is actually moved to August 14th of 2022 now. I'm hoping that will be the last time that we would have to move it, but you know, only time will tell. So, you know, we got all these receipts of people that we had to refund money to, and there was a few artists where they were like, well, you sign this, you have to pay this. So I had to dig into insurance to do that. But now we got to keep those receipts, because if SBA comes back to us and says, hey, did so-and-so get paid by you? Guess what? I would have to show them the proofs with receipts that, yes, so-and-so got paid by us, based off of that particular contract. So then they go back to the other place and say, based off of this information, we will not be able to pay for this, this, or this. And it, of course, if you are willingly denying it, you don't want to get in trouble with governmental fraud. So just don't even try it, whatever you do, because there's already a bunch of stuff that's been going on, and we don't need this to be in the midst of that. Okay. So, but if you are doing anything legit, you have the company, it's been around 2019 and 2020, you can show the losses and all of that, boom, you're good. Okay. But you'd have to show, now the first priority are those who had a direct loss, meaning 90% or more. That means like they made money in 2019, but they made nothing but maybe 10% of 2019 in 2020. If you have that type of scenario, you want to apply right now. Okay, because they will be able to help you. But it's going to cost you a few minutes. You're going to have to do the work. All right. Now, I want to stay on topic because we have a wonderful, wonderful topic. But first, I want to share with you, I want to share with you some forms. Now, SLMTA has made a decision that we were going to leave the reference option optional, and professional related models and or talent should use the reference, or anyone that is involved with a mother agency should use the reference form on the form. Okay, what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you right now as I get ready to do this, because I want you guys to see it firsthand. It makes it a whole lot easier than to you know, mess things up. So here we go. Let's go ahead and then we got a lot to talk about. It's good news, by the way, of the where the arts is and why you got big people with major portfolios like Kevin O'Leary that would actually say, yes, go invest in the arts. It's a new thing coming up. For a very, very, very long time, I'm talking nearly 100 years, it was the opposite. It was like they wouldn't even put a lollipop on it. It was too much competition. Now it's like, it's a new thing. And I'm going to explain why the arts is good to invest in and why you would want to do it. But first, let me go ahead and show you this. So slmta.submittable.com/SUBMIT, that spells submit. You will see this. This is my form. You're going to click submit. Okay, if you want to click the guidelines, you can, but they're going to show up in there constantly. So there you go. There's the guidelines and the list of awards and things like that. Now, this is all premature. Okay, your address, your state, the zip code, country, and then a phone number. I did that just, for the first time to let you know how you would fill that out. But this is the piece I'm talking about right here. So we have all the categories listed. If you are a kid and you're 4 to 7 years old, then these are the 3 categories that you may be interested in. Same way if you are a tween. A tween is 8 to 12. It's like you're going into the teen years. 8 to 12, you would be interested in these 4 items. And then your teen, you have 4 opportunities right here. Now you can go up to 3 or the 4 different challenges. Okay, it does not make a difference, but it's going to be $150 per submission, non-refundable. You only have to pay this to get into the contest. Once you are in the contest and then accept it and they vote you in to be the top 100, if you make it to any other next level, then you will be on the live virtual, which means that that will be the next steps to the process. We're not even going to go there yet because we want to make sure that everybody understands this first, okay? That won't start probably. We may have to push it to October. It depends, because a lot of people that wanted to sign up, especially our international friends, they were confused about one particular item, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. And it was recommended. It was that you had to do it. Now I made it optional. Then right here, you have the option to use a nickname or a stage name. Now for our records, we want you. Now, by the way, it says that you have to do it. There's a star by it. So if you don't have a nickname, if you don't have a stage name, then just put your real name down and then just put the same real name right here. If you have a nickname or stage name, put that there. And then let us know in the comment section down below, right in here, that you prefer to use your nickname or stage name, okay? So then you do your date of birth and all that. Now, a lot of these are not going to be viewable to the public, so do not worry about that. I have a thing in the system on the back end, which I could share with you on another video, where I'm able to click what is for viewing and what is not. Your date of birth is not really necessary for viewing, okay? The agents that want to know about this, they can get into the back office, but we only want to deal with specific. There's agencies from other agencies interested in showcasing or participating in the contest, and then there are agencies that are there for the exposure of the contest, meaning that they want to see a lot of things happening, okay? And that they may even pick the one that's not the top 100 and say, hey, do you have contact? We'd be interested in communicating with them, or maybe doing an audition or a Zoom call or something to that sort. And we probably could set that up. Some had asked, is this a way for SLMTA to build a roster? There's a catch-22 with that. And the reason for that is, while this is really not to build our roster, and eventually it would by default, because there would be many people that would be interested in doing this. And if the clients want to hire them for a particular thing, and we don't know anything outside of the introductory video and a few photos that you set up, that may require us to see if you have an interest in signing with us. If not, right now the contest isn't sold to have clients say, we want you for this, this, or that. So it is for the clients to see what's coming through. Okay, it's exposure. It's not for them to say, hey, that this person could be. So I want to make that very, very clear as well, so that it is fair to the others, especially to those that are coming in, because we do have a few mother agencies that really do want to participate in that. And so they'll be starting next week. And, that was one of the catch-22s that were involved with it. Now, with that being said, if that was to be the case, then it goes back to the SLMTA concern, and that would have to be that their mother agency makes sure that those models had signed the correct document, meaning that the agent is getting the fee, okay, for the work that is being done, not the other way around, because no other agency will pay for another agency that wasn't able to do it. It's just common sense, okay? But what we are willing to do is to make sure that the agent within the mother agency is being paid. And if that's 20%, then when the model is getting paid $1,000, we'll use simple math. If the model is getting paid $1,000 and they're with a mother agency, then besides our 10%, they would have to pay the mother agent 20%. So that's 30% of $1,000 being paid out. Now, if you're a freelancer, it'll actually be cheap for you. You just have to deal with SLMTA if you so desire. All right, because our agent fee is 10%. It's 15% for non-union, 10% for union. And if it's a buyout series or anything over 5,000, we actually go as low as 5%. We actually try to be very, very considerate when it comes to the agent fee. And then even with our agency fees that we have, non-union is 20% for anything 5,000 or less. If it's 5,000 and more, or it's a buyout series or a series like episodes or things like that, it is then 5%, and it's no percentage if they are union related. And that's because unions do not allow agency fees. And so if a film producer who is involved with the union decides to want to use SLMTA talent for possible unionizing that artist or what have you, we would not deny it as long as we have the right forms from the film producer that said that is what their intention is. But if they're looking for non-experience, if they're looking for experience and it's not unionized and they're not paying anything on it, like paying appropriately, then unfortunately that becomes an issue in the entertainment industry. That's a whole nother topic. But anyway, to get back to this, your nickname, if you have a nickname or a stage name, you could put it there. Otherwise, put your full regular name. If you have a stage name or a nickname, then you can put it at the comment section down below. Please use, please use real name or please use stage name, whatever the case may be. All right, now continuing on. So then after all that, then you see the rules and regulations all over again. I don't know why this happened like this. That's something I'm gonna have to check, because I think that I might have duplicated this piece. So anyway, it's the rules and regulations, but technically it should have went to your first and last name, date of birth, phone number, email address, your address, okay, here. Now, on submittables form, before you submit here, that goes to them, okay? It has nothing to do with me. This form goes to me, okay? Line address 2 is optional only if you have an apartment